there, fantasy owners. Welcome to LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in via YouTube or listening via podcast, but really do appreciate the support and appreciate the listen and view no matter how you're streaming the episode. Well, team previews are all done here, and we're going to get into our top goaltending rankings. Stuff's getting real here real quick as we're approaching camp dates. We're going to take a look at how we rank our top 25 goalies in the league. List might be a little bit different from how you favor them, but nonetheless, we're trying to hopefully get you that strong goaltending or maybe sneak a goaltender in there that really helps you out this season in your leagues and drafts, etc. So we'll get right into it. Our top five. Top of the list is Andrei Vasilevsky. He's 28 years old. Last year he got into 63 games, so played a ton. 39 wins, 2.49 goals against average. Two-time Stanley Cup champion. No reason why he won't be one of the top goaltenders in the league. Seen some lists that have had Shesterkin ahead of him. I just like the resume of what he's been able to do the last few years. Second on our list is the other guy that's topped some lists out there in Igor Shesterkin. He's 26 years old. Just absolutely burst onto the scene last year. You knew he was good, but he exploded last year. He has 53 games played, had 36 wins, only a 2.07 goals against average. Took the Rangers to the conference finals last year. The Rangers, they really expedited their retool or rebuild, whatever you want to call it there. And Shesterkin's a big reason why, and no reason why he can't put up big fantasy numbers again this year. Our third goalie on the list is Frederik Andersen. He's 32 years old. Last year got into 52 games. He had 35 wins, so a nice win total there, and a 2.17 goals against average. Really nice win percentage. Amazing to see. He's one of the goalies that maybe couldn't handle the pressure of playing in Toronto and really had a very nice season in Carolina where there's a little bit less media focus, etc. And Carolina's even deeper than they were last year. So you could almost see those numbers improve. It's hard to believe that they could improve, but there's potential there with that nice goals against average. Carolina's obviously going to pile up wins for you. So he's a big reason why he's number 3 on our list. Fourth is Juuse Saros of Nashville. He's 27 years old. Last year got into 67 games. Played an absolute ton. There's only 15 games all year that he didn't get any playing time in. He had 38 wins, so really high win total there. 2.64 goals against average. And Nashville, he's going to play a ton again this year. Nashville's always competitive, so that's why he's number 4 on our list. He's definitely going to get you a lot of fantasy points there. Rounding out the top 5 is Jacob Markstrom in Calgary. He's 32 years old. Last year got into 63 games, so played over 3/4 of the games for them. 37 wins, a 2.22 goals against average, so really low goals against, really nice win total. Calgary won the division last year. Markstrom was a big reason why. And Calgary's arguably better than they were last year, even after losing Gaudreau and Tkachuk, because they brought in Huberdeau, Kadri, Weegar comes in on the back end. There might not be a better defensive 6 playing in front of any goaltender in the league. And Markstrom will get you a pile of wins there as long as he can stay healthy. Moving along, number 6 is Ilya Sorokin. He's from the Islanders there. He's 27 years old. Last year got into 52 games, only 26 wins, and he had 7 shutouts though, which adds up in a hurry in your fantasy leagues. A 2.4 goals against average, so really nice goals against average. He's really taken over the crease. Varlamov will get some starts there, but Sorokin has taken over that crease. He's going to get the majority of the starts. The Islanders should improve. They're a little disappointing last year. They should open it up a little bit offensively, and Sorokin will benefit from that, hopefully piling up a few more wins for you. I really believe that 30 wins isn't out of the question for him. Number 7 is Jack Campbell from the Oilers. He's 30 years old. Last year got into 49 games played, had 31 wins in 49 games. Really nice win total in Toronto. 2.64 goals against average. He played in Toronto where they outscored their mistakes. It'll be very similar in Edmonton. He'll even get more playing time, should be well over 50 games played, Edmonton's going to win a lot of games for you. And Campbell really solidifies that goaltending. You look at Edmonton had a nice win total last year, and that was with Koskinen and Smith and net. And Campbell, yeah, he does have some flaws, but overall he will be better than Smith or Koskinen there. So definitely take a look at him in your drafts. Next up is Darcy Kemper from Washington now. He's 32 years old. Lots of goaltenders change teams there. He got into 57 games. He had 37 wins, 2.54 goals against average. He will be the guy in Washington. There's no real way to sugarcoat it there. He'll be playing a ton. He's always had strong numbers no matter where he's basically played it, whether it be in Arizona, Colorado, little short stint in LA, Minnesota, etc. So there's no reason why he won't put up some really nice numbers. Washington's a strong team, and he should get you a very nice fantasy value there. Number 9 is Thatcher Demko. He's 26 years old. He got into 64 games last year, so played a ton, had 33 wins. Really nice win total there. 2.72 goals against average, so a little bit higher than what you'd like, but the win total's there. His playing time is there. There's nobody threatening to take any starts away for him. And Vancouver should be not necessarily a playoff team, but he's going to get you a fair amount of wins. Has really nice save percentage, so there's no reason that he can't be very fantasy relevant for you. Rounding out the top 10 is Tristan Jarry from Pittsburgh. He's 27 years old. He got into 58 games last year, had 34 wins, so over that 30 win mark, which you like to see in your fantasy leagues there. He had a 2.42 goals against average, and Pittsburgh kept their core together. Yes, it's aging, but that's a significant core, and Crosby, Malkin, and Letang there. So they should be competitive again this year, and Jarry will benefit from that. And so will the fantasy owners that take him for that matter. Number 11 is Jake Ottinger from Dallas. He's 23 years old. He got into 48 games last year, had 30 wins in those 40 games. So he should even improve in that because he should be well over 48 games played. He had a 2.53 goals against average. And he's a really young goalie. He's just scratching the surface there. And it'll be his first full season as a starter because Holtby was getting some starts at the beginning of the year. And there's no real reason why not to take him. He's just outside our top 10. Number 12 is Marc-Andre Fleury. You go from a really young goaltender to one of the older goaltenders. He's 37 years old. Last year got into 56 games played. He only had 28 wins last year, but you have to remember, a lot of that was with Chicago, and Chicago was so disappointing. When he came over to Minnesota, he was 9-2, so he should pick up those wins. Minnesota's not quite as strong because they're in a little bit of the salary cap hell with the Suter and Parise buyouts, but they're still a strong team and a lot stronger than what his numbers suggested with all that time in Chicago last year. So Fleury, definitely bet on him to come back to some fantasy relevance there like he was at the end of last year. Next one is Sergei Bobrovsky. He's 33 years old, got into 54 games last year, had 39 wins, like really high win total. Obviously, when you're playing for the President's Trophy team, you're going to pile up some wins there. 2.67 goals against average. He obviously will pick up wins again this year as Florida is going to be very strong again. He might start a little bit less as they start to migrate Knight in there, but Bobrovsky will still be very fantasy relevant and get you a lot of wins when he is starting there. Number 14 is Jordan Binnington. He's 29 years old. Last year got into 37 games played, only had 18 wins, and he did have a very tough season last year. His numbers were ugly during the regular season, but then you've seen the Binnington of old in the playoffs there. He took away the crease from Husso, who took it away from him in the season. Husso's gone. They got a really young goaltender in Hofer as a backup, so Binnington will get a ton of starts. St. Louis is a fairly strong team. They're going to get a nice amount of wins, and Binnington will benefit from that, and so will fantasy owners for ones that do draft him. Rounding out the 15 is Connor Hellebuck. He's 29 years old. Last year had 66 games played, 29 wins. They're a little low by his standards in goals against and save percentage, but still a really nice season. Riddick isn't going to challenge him for starts. He's still going to play a ton. Winnipeg will get their fair share of wins. They won't necessarily be like Colorado per se, but like Demko, he's going to get some nice wins. Might not quite put up Demko numbers, but he should be very fantasy relevant for you. And number 16 is a new guy in Colorado, Alexander Georgiev. He's 26 years old. He got into 33 games last year for the Rangers, had 15 wins. Now, when they did bring him in, Sakic did mention that they intend that Georgiev should be the starter, so obviously his games played will go up, and playing in front of Colorado, you're definitely going to pile up wins. So as long as that holds true, he'll be very fantasy relevant. It might be a steal in some drafts if you hold back to draft him a little bit. Next one is Cam Talbot from Ottawa now. 35 years old. Last year got into 49 games played, and in those 49 games he had 32 wins. How much will he play in Ottawa? They do have a nice backup in Forsberg there, but he should get the majority of the starts, will have the longer leash, and Ottawa is quite improved. They got a really nice young core there, so they should be moving up the chart, get some more wins, and I think Talbot will fit in really nicely there over the next couple of seasons. Jeremy Swayman, he's 23 years old, number 18 on our list. He got into 41 games played last year, 23 wins, and it was a split crease with Ullmark. Ullmark will get his fair share of starts, but Swayman is starting to take over that crease there. Boston's still fairly strong. The only reason he's not a little higher on our list is that McAvoy and Marchand and that are going to miss a little bit of time to start the season. They did bring back Bergeron and Krejci, but Boston's going to get their fair share of wins. They're still going to be a strong team this year, and Swayman will definitely benefit from that, and he should get a few more starts as he is a younger goaltender and slowly pull away from Ullmark in the starter's position for Boston there. Next one is Matt Murray. He's 28 years old. Last year got into 20 games played. He only had 5 wins. Really ugly start to the season for him in Ottawa. After he got sent down and came back up, those numbers did improve in the second half of the season there. But now he's playing in Toronto, and Toronto's definitely going to pile up some wins because they're a really strong club, especially during the regular season. Not so much puck luck in the playoffs, but fantasy owners, we don't care about the playoffs. We care about the regular season. Toronto will be right up there, and there's no reason why not to draft Murray. The only reason I have him so low on the list is because of his past few seasons there. If he does falter, they do have a nice backup in Samsonov. He might take over the crease, or does Murray hold on to it for the whole season? So it's a little bit of a gamble there. But whoever does start in Toronto is definitely going to rack up some fantasy points for you. We just give Murray the edge at this point. Number 20 is Elvis Merzlikins in Columbus there. He's 28 years old. Last year got into 59 games played. He had 27 wins, so almost reached the 30 win total. Obviously, Columbus is a little bit improved. They got Gaudreau there. Does that push him over the top? No, but Merzlikins plays a lot. I don't think that 30 wins is out of the question for him this year, so he will have some fantasy relevance for sure there. We just have him a little bit low on the list because he does play in Columbus, and they got a long way to go yet. They're going in the right direction, just he's a little bit lower on our list because Columbus isn't quite there yet, so to speak. Number 21 is a backup in Florida, Spencer Knight. He's 21 years old, got into 32 games last year, and in 32 games he had 19 wins. He's young up-and-coming goalie. Bobrovsky still has that big contract, so he won't get the games played that some of the other players on this list have, but he will be creeping up there, slowly stealing away starts, and when he does start with Florida's team, he'll definitely be fantasy relevant for you and pick up some nice win points for you. Should have some nice save percentage there, etc. Next one is old veteran. It seems like we follow a young guy with an old guy, just like we did with Ottinger and Fleury there, now Knight and Quick. But Jonathan Quick at 36 years old. He got into 46 games last year. Had 23 wins. He had his best season in years last year in LA. LA surprised, did sneak into the playoffs. They did improve a bit. It's just a matter of how many games played is Quick going to get, because Peterson does have that nice contract, so it should be close to a split, maybe Quick getting the edge again like he did last year. But when he did play, he was really well. He played great in McLennan's system there, so we do give him the edge right now, and he's number 22 on our list. Number 23 is a new guy in New Jersey, and Videk Vanecek. He's 26 years old. Last year got into 42 games played. He had 20 wins and had 4 shutouts. Now in New Jersey, he's obviously playing a little bit weaker team, but New Jersey has a really strong core. I find them kind of similar to Ottawa in that sense, that they are up and coming. Are they there yet? We'll see how the season plays out. I think they'll be nipping on the door like Ottawa will be for a playoff spot there. It's just how much timeshare is he going to share with Blackwood, and Blackwood does have some injury history, so that's a little more reason to kind of lean towards Vanecek there. He will be fantasy relevant. He's just a little bit lower on our list, maybe a second or third option goalie for you. Next one's a new guy in Detroit. He had a really good season in St. Louis, and Ville Husso. He's 27 years old. Last year got into 40 games played. He had 25 wins. He had a really, really nice regular season in St. Louis. He did falter in playoffs there. He is going to a weaker team in Detroit. They did, again, like a lot of the weaker teams, they did improve some in the offseason. Eiserman had a really nice offseason there. How does that translate for fantasy success? He'll be a nice option there. Not sure how much he'll be splitting with Nedeljkovic, but Husso should have the longer leash there, be a little more fantasy relevant, so he'll be a nice depth goaltending option for you. And the last one on our list is Carter Hart. I've seen him off some lists there, but we have him just squeaking into our top 25. He's 24 years old, only got into 45 games played. He had 13 wins last year. The reason we do have him on our list is that Philly had a horrible season last year. They were decimated by injury. Yes, some people have left, but assuming they're healthy, they should get quite a few more wins. They brought in D'Angelo, hopefully a healthy Couturier, etc. Yes, Drew is out the door going over to Ottawa, but I do see Philly improving. If not, it could be another casualty that is the Philadelphia graveyard for goaltenders, it seems like. But hopefully not, and you do get a very nice pickup there in your drafts. Do hope you did enjoy today's episode. We'll be out in a little bit with our top 50 defensemen. If you did like it and you're watching via YouTube, remember to hit like, hit subscribe, remember that notification bell. If you're listening via podcast, remember to hit follow, hit that heart no matter what platform you're listening on there. Again, really do hope you did enjoy it. We'll be out in a bit with our top D-men, then we'll do our top forwards, then we'll get into some sleeper picks. Of course, during the regular season, we always have our 3 episodes every week, looking at different players to hopefully help strengthen your fantasy rosters. And good luck in your upcoming drafts, and good luck in your upcoming leagues, and we'll talk to you soon there, fantasy owners.